إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن خير الكلام كلام الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد, if we say now that we thank Allah, everybody will know why we have to thank Him. We will not have to start explaining why we thank Allah. Especially if we say we thank Allah for bringing us back here. We will not need to start asking, start making ta'lilat, why we think that we should specifically thank Him for bringing us back. It will not need explanation. It will not need proof. Because it is self-proving. It is very clear to everybody. It was just one day we said, okay, inshallah, next week we will start reading Aqidat Al-Raziyayn. Aqidat Al-Raziyayn. Brother, come close. The brother is meaning. You, even تخرج من المسجد. أيوة لا ينبغي للإنسان أن يعتزل عن الناس. أيوة. So, we said we were going to read Aqidat Al-Raziyayn. Aqidat Al-Raziyayn. The Aqidah as was taught specifically gathered by the two Imams. You remember the two of them? Abu Hatim Al-Razi, Abu Hatim Muhammad ibn Idris Al-Razi, and his colleague Imam Abu Zur'at Al-Razi, Ubaydullah ibn Abdul-Karim. They thought that we would read the Aqidah. These two people travel all around the Muslim world. So when they returned home to Ar-Rayj, the son of Abu Hatim, Abu Abdur-Rahman, Muhammad, he asked his father and Abu Zur'a, what was the belief you found the scholars of the city upon? What were they upon? And they started to explain to him what the ulama were upon in the various cities. And he was documenting them. Some of the scholars have titled this book as Aqeedatu A'immatil Amsar, the Aqidah of the scholars of the various cities of Islam. What were they upon? And we gave ourselves a buy. We say, inshallah, next week we'll start reading the book. This is the next week. This is the next week. And that was sometime in March. That was in March. So since then, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Which month are we now? Little say tomorrow, inshallah, and that's inshallah. It is inshallah. So that meet was not to be except 7 months after. How many times would you tell someone, inshallah, we'll see in the office tomorrow? By the tomorrow, the person was dead. That is how ذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ رَبُّكُمْ لَهُ الْمُلْكُ. That is how your Lord does what He wants. The sovereignty and authority belongs to Him. Several issues. From one issue, it started with COVID-19. At the time COVID-19 was just starting. And I remember I was mentioning in that class that the country should take this matter very serious because other people of the world are taking it very serious. And then cities were locked down. Some cities are still locked down till I speak. In Europe, the UK is locked down. About 4 days ago, they announced a 4-week lockdown. France is locked down. They are locked down. Because they said there's a new wave of the spread of COVID-19 in their city. And it became a disease that killed over 200,000 people inside America. 200,000 died. This is the number that we are recorded. Because some people died in their homes unrecorded. They said it. So something would happen in our present day computer world, in the not world of nuclear weapons and security and 200,000 people will die inside America. In the United States, one doctor told me once that pride became lost. That's what they call the American pride. I'm an American. You know, they have that pride. That pride, they lost it when COVID-19 came upon them. You can't say, I'm an American. They can't say so. And they began to beg countries for face masks. Face masks. Surgical masks. The green one you put on the face. They started begging countries, send us surgical masks. America, the US. So Allah does what He wants. What is the size of that virus? So small. So small. May Allah protect all of us. Unfortunately, some of the people said it will be so devastating in Africa that you will see dead bodies on the street. But Allah showed that This is His power. In fact, someone said in his thinking that he thought that disease went around, especially in our own country. When we started lockdowns in Nigeria, if you want to lock down Bere in Ibadan, how will you lock down Bere? Do you know Bere? Ojo, how will you lock down Ojo? When about 15, 20 houses are all linked together, how do you lock down that place? That's not the community. So the governor said, I can't lock down anywhere. I don't know what Allah will do, and then Allah started it with him. So when he survived, he said, it means it can be survived. There are a lot of lessons around COVID-19. A lot of lessons. And Haram al-Makki became a place that was completely empty. Masjid al-Haram, completely empty. And less than 10,000 people would perform Hajj. Hajj of 6 million, 7 million will be performed by 10,000 people. How will they be in the Mashayikh? In the places where the locations of Hajj? How will they be there? They themselves will feel that have we come for Hajj? Hajj. For me, that was my biggest worry. Ramadan. And the heads of households become ai-imma in their house, leading salawat. Husbands became kuffar of Quran. whether they wanted it or not. They were leaving the house. The entire 30 days of Ramadan, fortunately the Ramadan was empty. Cool? And on the day of Eid, the heads of homes became A'immatul A'yad. Our homes became the Eid ground, so these are big lessons for us. Very big lessons. Very big lessons. And then we gradually moved out of that. Then there's another fitna in our own country. So the big fitna. So the big fitna that lives were lost, people died, people were wounded, businesses were destroyed. I saw a video of Bode Thomas. I know Bode Thomas very well because we had an office around Bode Thomas sometime between 2003 and 2007 or 8. So I used to visit Bode Thomas very well. And I think in 2018 we attended a nikah in a masjid that was close to Bode Thomas. You know what Bode Thomas? Left, right, businesses, big businesses, left and right. They were brought down. Bode Thomas left, right. During the crisis, during the protest, was brought down. And then we went into another lockdown till we find ourselves here. We deserve to thank Allah. There's a report that I've always ever remembered when these issues were just coming, following themselves. That the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam said that towards the end of time, one fitna will emerge. The mu'min will think that maybe my time will come in this fitna. Allah will save him from the fitna. And as that one ended, another one will start again. He will be thinking, maybe it is this time that I will go. That one will come. Another one will start again. He starts thinking, maybe my time is near. Till the end of time. May Allah protect all of us. And make us use the dunya in the best of times for us. May Allah forgive all our shortcomings. There are also the good sides of it. There are the best sides of it. Many brothers started struggling to learn more. Because you became the mufti of your family. They will ask you, how do we slaughter a ram? How do we do this? How do we? So you be the one bringing the fatwa. I was saying, people used to say, what are they going to do in the halqa every Sunday, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? There are classes every day. I said they would have known now. The people who also always ask, what are they learning? What are they reading? We talked about ahkamul ijayn ko. We discussed ahkamul salatul jum'ah ko. Okay. So what are they doing there? He would have known now when the lockdown came. Okay. And I used to say then that we should learn it because we can find ourselves in a situation where we will be the ones having to explain we found out. For me, it was the first time I was slaughtering a ram. I've never slaughtered a ram with my hand. First time ever. Place the ram on the ground. You know the sunnah of slaughtering a ram. You place the left side of the ram on the ground. You place your right leg on the stomach of the animal. You grab the head together with the ears to cover the nose with your left and open the neck. And then you slaughter with your right hand. All these are from the sunnah of slaughtering. It was the first time I was slaughtering myself as an individual. Slaughterer. I'd never slaughtered. And big ibadah. Slaughtering a ram, blood. It's big ibadah. To slaughter a ram for Allah. Because you will see that Allah has just brought down these animals for you. وَظَلَّلْنَاهَا لَكُمْ فَمِنْهَا رَكُوبُكُمْ وَمِنْهَا يَأْكُلُونَ. وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَنَافِعُ وَمَشَارِبُ أَفَلَا تَشْكُرُونَ أَفَلَا يَشْكُرُونَ. Will human beings not be grateful? For me, it was the first time. And it was the first time my children were seeing me making Eid at home. Especially Eid al-Kabir. This one, as big as he is, he never saw me make Eid at home. First time they were seeing me making Eid al-Kabir at home. Never. Last 16 years, the first time I'm making Eid at home. So may Allah accept it all. I'm mentioning that there are good sides of it too. We need to look at. We thank Allah for them. He gave many of us, many of the brothers, many people found more time reading the Quran. Many people found more time to make istighfar because nobody was going anywhere. And Allah showed all of us His rububiyyah. For 2-3 months, nobody went anywhere and everybody was eating something. So if we say Allah feeds all of us, some people say, how is it Allah is feeding us? I'm working, okay, don't go to work and you'll be eating food. Nobody was going anywhere and everybody was eating. Big or small. Even when we were going to work, from morning to night, our food was still between big and small. So when we were not going anywhere, the food was between big and small. So everybody were eating food and nobody was going anywhere. Allah showed us His rububiyyah. I will keep all of you at home. If you think that it's your job that fits you, okay, you will not go out for that job and I will be feeding you. Okay. Government even said, oh yeah, give them food. The food didn't reach us. Allah? We've released 100,000 tons of food. Where are they? Everybody was asking, where is the food? The food was somewhere. So it was as if Allah held it back, saying, no, let me do what I want first. Keep your food. So the food is not something. Somewhere. Some of them got expired. That is not the business of your Lord. He wants to do something. Inna rabbaka fa'alu lima yurid. Allah is the one who is doing something. All of us, we are maf'ulun. We are done things. Allah is al-Qadir. He is the one doing something. We are done things. The rest of us, we are done. The one doing it, Allah. Is not supersede all other things and laws. What He wants, what He wills at every point in time. There are a lot of lessons in it. Different times, different people look at different things. We take different lessons. We're all at home. Those who like to sleep will sleep. They will be tired of sleeping. Those who like to watch videos will watch, they will be tired. Allahu Akbar. It's a very big time. 7 months. Someone who has a store in Makkah, he traveled out to his country. He is not going to Makkah yesterday or today. His intention, let me quickly go and come back. He went, I couldn't come back inside. All the stores around Masjid al-Haram were locked. They still locked except food stores, where food is sold to those who are now allowed to come in to make Umrah. It's a very, very big thing for the world. Europe, I think UK specifically, about 3 or 4 days ago, how many billion pounds did they say they will? You know the meaning? They will print money because no economy was working and huge companies were falling. Huge airlines, some airport business, Emirates said they have over 100 and something planes. in their airport. No plane was going anywhere. Who was flying to where? Nobody was flying anywhere. Except those on emergencies and all of this. They need special clearance and all of this. And some of the people began to doubt it. Is it really true until they started hearing that people died? Abbas Yari died. May Allah forgive. The people started thinking, oh, I think it is real. And then the past governor of Oyo State, Ishaq Ajimabiko, may Allah forgive him too. That was why I first of all mentioned his name Ishaq. He's always proud to show that he's a Muslim. Against all odds, when he built that masjid along that Ojo road, he called the masjid Ishaq Jimabi Masjid. I got aware that some people inside his house did not want him to name that masjid Ishaq. He told them, I am going to name this masjid Ishaq. And he named the masjid Ishaq. Ajimabi started with Ishaq. The first day that I passed there, I saw it. I told the brother who was with me, I said, go and write it down. This masjid will be the best thing for this man when he lives and when he dies. This masjid, you will see, it will be among the best things he has ever done. When he's alive and when he would have died. When he died, where was the janaza observed on him? The same masjid. So masjid is from the things that retain a Muslim. Masjid, Allah will use the masjid to keep you alive. I mean, you're mentioning alive. Even when you have passed away. When we go to Makkah, what do we go to look for? Masjid al-Haram, built by Nabi Ibrāhīm. When we go to Madīnah, what do we go to look for? If we have the opportunity to visit Jerusalem, what do we want to go and look for there? Masjid al-Aqsa, Masjid al-Nabawi, Masjid al-Haram. Masjid. Allah sustains people mentioning with masajid. There are a lot of other things that happen that I'm sure you know better than I know. I'm just trying to bring back our memories. Just trying to call us back. May Allah forgive whatever sins we would have committed at that time. Whatever good deeds we were able to do, may Allah multiply the rewards for us. We have some Muslim brothers, no doubt, who would have passed away during the COVID-19. May Allah forgive all of them. May Allah forgive all of them. May Allah forgive all of them. After the COVID-19, some people, nothing happened to them. They only died during COVID-19, not from COVID-19. But their death came at the time of COVID-19, but not related to COVID-19. May Allah forgive all of them. Both men and women and children, everybody. May Allah forgive all of them. And then the fitna came, the fitna of protest. The very, very big fitna. Some of the people were pouring fuel. They were fueling the people. Unfortunately, in the name of Islam, those are the worst amongst those people who participated in it. Those fueling it in the name of Allah. As if Allah has supported Tawbah. As if our Sharia has supported these kinds of disturbance. No. Allah will not rule that people do something that will bring about these kinds of situations that we have. People's property being looted, people's life. How many women evil came upon them during that time? From men. Those ones were not reported. Yes. Women were raped, homes were destroyed, people's property, lives were taken, people were killed. There was an article in one of the dailies yesterday or today. They said, end SARS protest between police brutality and brutality of police. Is it not so? Between police brutality and the brutality of police. That is, they are discussing. People say police is brutal, Abi. How about the people being brutal against police? The two of them were killed. You say people are doing something bad. You do exact thing you say they are doing. You say people are stealing money. You go and steal too. So how does the thing become corrected? So may Allah protect all of us. But there is a major issue too that was noticed. And it is possible that things like that come up from time to time. And that we need to know how does a Muslim respond to those kinds of situations. How does a Muslim behave in the times of fitna? It is good to understand Fiqh Al-Fitan, the Fiqh, the Islamic ruling regarding fitan, trials and tribulations. When they happen, what should a Muslim do? I'm sure many of the people will be confused. So what do we do now? What do we do now? People will be confused. Should I fight somebody who comes to your house? Or what do I do? Because it became like people just rush into any house and start pillaging the house. So what does the head of the home do in those situations? Does he fight back? Does he just hand them over his property? What does the Muslim do? How does he talk in the circumstance? There are many of our brothers who, when they start talking, say, keep quiet. People wanted to be breaking news. Why should you want to be a news breaker in the times of fitna? Why? You want breaking news to come from you at the time of fitna? Many people don't know, especially because I'm just on Twitter and WhatsApp. So if I find somebody on Facebook, I say, keep quiet. Stop talking. It is from the adab of the times of fitna that someone keep quiet, keep quiet. So that your tongue does not participate in it. How many people's tongue and hand participated in it? And we've been warned against participating in fitna. People participated in it with their mouth, with their hands, and then some of the people with their bodies. So if you say you are not there, how about your hand? Especially when it became a bigger fitna. Yes, there were palliatives that were stored and not distributed to the people. When people started to blame the government, why is the government also keeping? What's your business with that? Are you government? Will you be asked about that by Allah? Why not keep quiet? It became a means for them also to begin to abuse government and spread that abuse. Is that lawful for a Muslim? You see now? So does one wrong thing justify another wrong thing? It doesn't. It doesn't. So some of these things were discussed. I have not heard us talking about Fiqh Al-Fitan. And if you go to the books of Hadith, if you go to Sahih Al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, and other books of Sunan, the Ma'ajim, and others, you will always find Abwab Al-Fitan wal-Malahim. Abwab Al-Fitan wal-Malahim. Just like you find Abwab on Tahara, Abwab on Salah, Abwab on Zakah, you find Abwab on Fitan. When there is fitna, how do you conduct yourself? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu he taught us how to handle ourselves. So have we been studying these kinds of issues? I don't know if we have been doing. But I have not heard us talking about them. So when we thought to go back to our class, I felt because we wouldn't know the days that are ahead in our country now. Usually when a people start by revolting publicly like this against their government, they hardly stop. May Allah protect us. Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu shed tears over this when the people rose against Uthman bin Affan. He said, oh, so you people want to turn us to an ummah wearing Once the leader errs, you rise up against them, you kill them and remove them, you bring another one. He started crying, saying, oh Allah, we don't want this kind of situation. Then it was the ways of the Persians. They are the ones who do that. Each time government does something, people rise up, against them. There will be trouble. There will be trouble. Each time people feel uncomfortable with one policy of government, they rise against it. In Lagos, there is a sitting down. What do they call it? Panel of inquiry? Judicial panel of inquiry. The CBN said some accounts should be frozen, have you? Whether right or wrong, we don't know. But we know that there are extant laws guiding that. Are there no laws guiding such things? Will that institution take that decision without a law guiding it? The two young boys that are in that committee, in protest, went out of the committee. So each time one father says something to his son, the son does not like, he wants to protest and rise against his father. In the name of God. People get used to it. May Allah protect us. So it means that we need to start learning how does a Muslim behave. What are the ahkam in Islam that guide the Muslim's behavior during the times of fitan. Like we mentioned, these issues occur in the books of Hadith, but we hardly go back to them. We always busy with issues of Sahara and all of that. We are not discussing fitan and how to handle them. And there are rulings regarding that. So I just started thinking about looking for a book to read to us about these ahkams. A book that will be easy for all and sundry to understand. We'll read, we'll be explaining this. But there are a lot of books from both the past and the present amongst our ulama. The oldest single compilation, apart from those you will find in other books of hadith, like Al-Bukhari, Muslim, and other books of hadith. The oldest single compilation that I found, because this Imam is even before Al-Imam Al-Bukhari, and that's Al-Imam Nu'aym ibn Muhammad Al-Marwazi, Abu Abdullah. He has a book that he has titled Kitab Al-Fitan. It occurs in 2 volumes with this tahqiq of our Shaykh, one of our teachers, Shaykh Ibrāhīm Abdur-Raūf, rahimahullah, hafizahullah. We still spoke 3 days ago. This is his tahqiq of Kitab Al-Fitan by Imam Al-Hafiz Abu Abdullah Nu'aym ibn Muhammad, the great scholar of hadith and fiqh and aqidah. This Imam was killed and thrown into a well. May Allah forgive him. Why? Because he was standing firm upon the Sunnah. He was killed during the fitna of Al-Quran. He was with those who were taken away with Al-Imam Al-Buwaiti, when Al-Buwaiti was one of the students of Imam Al-Shafi'i. When Al-Imam Al-Shafi'i passed away, Al-Imam Al-Buwaiti took his seat where he used to teach in Egypt. When he was commanded to announce that the Quran was created, we know the fitna of Al-Quran, and he answered in the negative that the Quran is not a creature of Allah, it is rather the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This Imam Al-Buwaiti was asked to be brought to Baghdad from Misr. Go and look at the map between Egypt and Baghdad. On his feet, and tied with chains on his feet and hands and neck. While they were on the way, Nu'aym ibn Muhammad passed away. He was thrown into a well by those people who were taking them to Baghdad. So, usually people refer to him as Imam min A'immat Sunnah. Al-Imam Nu'aym ibn Muhammad Al-Marwazi. He has compiled a book about the ahadith from the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, and he gave the asanid between himself and the Prophet. And those narrations also from the companions, radiyallahu anhum, and others amongst the tabi'un, regarding fitan. So he titled it Kitab Al-Fitan. It's the oldest and the biggest that I know regarding fitan. Nu'aym ibn Muhammad, Kitab Al-Fitan. And someone who has not done something similar to that from the later scholars after him was Al-Imam Al-Qurtubi, Abu Al-Abbas, Sahib Al-Mufhim. He has a sharh of Sahih Muslim, Abu Al-Abbas Al-Qurtubi. He also did a compilation on Al-Fitan wal-Malahim. Fitan and the signs of the last hour. But Nu'aym ibn Muhammad is just restricted to fitan, trials and tribulations that will happen from time to time. And then how does the Muslim handle those situations? He compiled them in the book. After that we have At-Tibyān by Imam Al-Qurtubi. And following At-Tibyān we have Kitab Al-Fitan wal-Malahim also by Al-Hafiz ibn Kathir. That one occurs at the last volume of his book, Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya. You know Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya by Al-Hafiz ibn Kathir. It has Kitab Al-Fitan wal-Malahim at the end of it. And so on till our own time. Someone who now goes round all the scholars of Hadith to gather what they have said regarding Al-Fitan wal-Malahim was this Shaykh Mustafa Al-Adawi. Is from the scholars of Egypt. He has this book he has titled As-Sahih Al-Musnad. It is the difference between what he has done and what all others have done. All others have compiled a hadith, whether Sahih or Da'if. They just compiled and gathered them together. This is all that has been reported about this issue that I can find. But for Shaykh Mustafa Al-Adawi, he has just only compiled those ones that, based on his rulings, they are authentic from the various major sources of ahadith that he has come across according to him. He said this, he titled the book As-Sahih Al-Musnad. You see, Al-Musnad, it has a meaning. It means those reports are the marfu'at alone. He says As-Sahih Al-Musnad min ahadith al-fitan wal-malahim wa ashraf al-sa'ah. Very big book, very beneficial. You always have to come back to it. He has a lot of work on it regarding authenticity of ahadith. So sometimes if you read, because Shaykh Sulayman Ar-Ruhayli, rahimahullah, hafizahullah, he mentioned in the Muqaddimah of his Tahqiq that he found that if he wants to give the rulings on each of the hadith, it will take a long time, and this book needs to come. So let's push the book and then work on the Tahqiq of the book. So sometimes you can read the hadith here, you want to find out about the ruling. You come and look for it here. It would mean that according to Shaykh Mustafa Al-Adawi, that hadith is either sahih or what, or hasan. If you find it in Shaykh Mustafa Al-Adawi's work. And then he's from the scholars of our time. These are two extents that I have done. Apart from those who have based their work on the books of hadith, there are those amongst the scholars who have written books on Fiqh Al-Fitan, the ahkam Islamic ruling about the times of trials and tribulations. One of them is Shaykh Abdur-Raūf ibn Shaykh Abdul-Muhsin Al-Abbad. He is also one of our teachers. At least if you have been sitting in front of somebody 3, 4, 5 times in 1 year, over 15 years, you can confidently ascribe to him. The Shaykh Abdur-Raūf ibn Abdul-Muhsin is from the teachers in Masjid Al-Nabawi in Madinah. He has this book, Athar Al-Fitan. What are the things that when you see them, you know there's fitna? When some things happen, there is fitna. The leftover traces of fitna. When you see them, you know there is fitna. Whether during or after the fitna, they will make you realize that, oh, there was fitna. So he refers to this book as Athar Al-Fitan. The outcome of the book was a lecture he delivered, and it was compiled. He mentioned about 10 afar, 10 things to know that there is fitna. Whether when the fitna is happening, or immediately after the fitna happens. And then individual, what do fitan do to them? For me, it is the most scary thing that he mentioned in this book. You see a noble person, learned person, a person of sunnah. When he gets involved in fitna, his nobility comes down. It's one of the athar of fitna. A noble person who gets involved in fitna. When he gets involved in it, Allah brings him down because of the fitna he got involved in. Someone who will not be abused will become abused. Why? He got involved in the fitna. Someone who will not ordinarily be criticized will be criticized and stopped. Why? The position he took during the fitna. He said those are from the afar of fitna. May Allah protect all of us. It's a very, very nice book. One reason I'm mentioning it is that we may not be able to read all the books. But we can go and start looking for them. Our brothers can go and start looking for these books. You can find them on the net. The important thing is that read them and learn from them. It's a very, very good book. Afar al-Fitan. It's a very good book. A good reader will finish this book after Salatul Zuhur, and he will still be able to perform Qaylila before Salatul Asr. Inshallah. But if you read it with the reading of Bahas, the reading of Bahas is that when a scholar mentions a hadith, you go back to the books of hadith, you check that hadith, you check the shelf of the hadith, and what others among the scholars have said about the book. Ulama refer to that as Qira'atul Bahas. You read it by way of researching. If you read it like that, inshallah, it may take you a week to finish the book. And that will be if you have a good library, inshallah. It's a very good book. Asarul Fitan. Very, very good book. By Shaykh Abdur-Raūf Ibn Abdul Muhsin Al-Abbas. The other one that I also find very, very good. And this is by Shaykh Sulayman Ar-Ruhayli. The Shaykh Sulayman Ar-Ruhayli that you know. Hafizahullah. Very, very learned person. Shaykh Abdurrahman Al-Banna, who just passed away. He says we are going to become our Uthaymeen in this time. He was referring to Shaykh Sulayman Ar-Ruhayli. And if you read Shaykh Sulayman Ar-Ruhayli's work or you listen to him, his presentations are like the presentations of Shaykh Muhammad ibn Salih Al-Uthaymeen. So when I read that statement from Shaykh Abdul-Wahhab Al-Banna Al-Misri, who just died recently also, it's one of the few times during the lockdown. Big scholars passed away. May Allah protect us. Big scholars passed away within the last 7 months that we had not sat here. The Shaykh Sulayman Ar-Ruhayli also, this is also from a lecture that he delivered. It's titled the Fiqh Al-Fitan, the Shaykh Sulayman Ar-Ruhayli. So he mentioned some qawaid, some basic rules, some usul, dawabit, that are regarding issues of fitan and how the Muslim handles himself during the fitan. They are 25 in number, 26 in number. Al-Aslu Sadisu wal-Ishrun. That is the last one. Very, very good book. Each of the points will make you start thinking about yourself. Fiqh Al-Fitan. They are rulings regarding how a Muslim conducts himself during the period of trials and tribulations. May Allah protect all of us. And some of the scholars have written forward to this book, like Shaykh Salih ibn Sa'd al-Hayni Hafizahullah also, and others. Very, very good book. He delivered the lecture inside Jami'atul Islamiyah in Madīnah. It was compiled into a book. Shaykh Sulayman Ar-Ruhayli, Fiqh Al-Fitan. Very good book. There is also Ma'alimun fi Awqatil Fitan wal Nawazil. Ma'alim. When you travel from here to as far as At-Tibyān, if you are traveling from Abuja to Kaduna, that long road, it usually is 1 hour 40 minutes. But I remember at those days, I used to drive it in 50 minutes. There are people who know that. I used to drive Kaduna, Abuja 50 minutes. Those days. But I don't think I can drive that now. We are getting old, Abi. I used to drive. Not that I drove. It was a common thing, 50, 55 minutes, 60 minutes. On the dot of 1 hour, I'm in Abuja from Kaduna. It's a long road, though. Buses may even take 3 hours. But we don't like to spend the entirety of our life on the road, so. So this, what I'm going to say about that is that when you travel, you see some stones on the road, so they will say kg 75 kilometers, kg 70 kilometers, to be reduced until you get. Those stones are called ma'alim. They are going to guide you and make you know how your journey is faring as far as that journey is concerned. So when the Sheikh said ma'alimun fi awqatil fitan wal nawazil, that is guiding stones, guidelines about the period of fitan, trials and tribulations, wal nawazil, and big events. When big things happen, how do you conduct yourself? To give us guidelines. Also from the book of Allah and the Messenger of Sunnah, alayhi salatu wa salam. There are a number of them that this Shaykh Abdul-Aziz Al-Sadhan has mentioned in this book. He titled the book Ma'alimun fi Awqatil Fitan wal Nawazil. It's a very, very, very good book. And he mentioned 42 guidelines, 42 basic rules, 42 that he mentioned. Very good book. It has the Taqdeem of Shaykh Sulayman Ar-Ruhayli. That is a forward from Shaykh Sulayman Ar-Ruhayli. Shaykh Abdul-Aziz Al-Sadhan. There is also this book by Shaykh Salih ibn Abdul-Aziz Al-Shaykh. Salih ibn Abdul-Aziz Al-Shaykh. He has a book, Al-Dawabit Al-Shar'iyya لموقف المسلم في الفتن. الضوابط الشرعية, the guidelines from the Sharia of Islam. لموقف المسلم, regarding the position that a Muslim will take in fitan when there is fitan. الضوابط الشرعية لموقف المسلم في الفتن. It's a very, very nice book. He also gave it as a lecture and it was converted into a book. He gave about 15 dawabit. Each of them very, very important. In his own case, he said the first dawabit is that be careful, don't just be active. The first dawabit about fitan is that don't be the one who is just reactive. Something happens very late, something happens, it starts reacting. I don't want to use that expression, say cool down, be yourself. That is the first dawabit he mentioned. It's a very, very good book. We should look for it and study it. It will help us a lot during the times of fitan. Some of which we have seen and some of which we are still in. Because till today we are still under curfew in our own state. By 8 p.m. everybody should be at home now. So, may Allah protect all of us. So he titled it Ad-Dawabit Al-Shar'iyya Li-Mawqif Al-Muslim Fi Al-Fitan. Shaykh Salih ibn Abdul-Aziz Al-Shaykh. Very, very good book. One of the scholars from Iraq, his name is Hassan al-Iraqi. You know in Iraq there is a lot of fitan. They've been under fitan for over 20 years in Iraq. So he wrote a book on that. رؤية شرعية للفتن والنوازل في الساحة العراقية. رؤية شرعية للفتن والنوازل في الساحة العراقية. رؤية شرعية. The views of the Sharia للفتن والنوازل regarding the tribulations and big events that have been happening في الساحة العراقية on the Iraqi ground, on the lands of Iraq, in the region of Iraq. This is what we have titled this work. And he has gathered along with it statements from some of the big scholars of Islam in our own times, Shaykh Rabi' ibn Hadi al-Madkhali, Shaykh Ubayd ibn Abdullah al-Jabiri, Shaykh Salih ibn Sa'd al-Suhaymi, Shaykh Muhammad ibn Hadi al-Madkhali. He has gathered some of their comments regarding these issues and he has compiled them in this book. Very, very, very good book. Very good book. It's a very old book with me. Very good book. He has one thing that you may not find in all others that we have mentioned. He properly discussed what is fitan in Islam, or fitna in Islam, and the various meanings, about 15 different meanings that this word fitna may mean. He discussed each of the meanings and in the circumstances that each of those meanings would apply to that word, al-fitna. Very, very good book. And he also discussed the basic rulings, how we recognize fitan, and the basic rulings, the things that lead to fitan, he also discussed. Then he discussed asbabun najat min al-fitan. What are the means of getting saved or protected from fitan? The first of them he mentioned is taqwa Allah. Fear Allah. That is, obey Allah. Don't disobey Him during the time of fitan. The second thing he mentioned, he said, tahqiqul iman billahi ta'ala. Redefine and affirm your belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The third one, kasratul isti'adati billahi min al-fitan. Always pray and beg Allah to protect you from fitan. The fourth one, mutaba'atul rasuli alayhi salatu wa salam zahiran wa batina. Following the sunnah of the messenger alayhi salatu wa salam during fitan. Number 5, at-tamassuku bi manhaj salaf salih. Be upon what the companions and their students were upon during fitan. Number 6, لزوم العلماء الربانيين وأخذ كلامهم وخصوصا في زمن الفتن. Sticking to the scholars of Sunnah and taking to their advices during the times of fitan. He also mentioned اعتزال الفتن. Avoid it with your tongue, with your speech. If you don't be a participant. Avoiding fitan. He mentioned it. He also mentioned al-iksaru min al-ta'at, getting involved in many more good deeds during the times of fitan. He mentioned others. He also even discussed the difference between al-fitanu wal-nawazil, between trials and tribulations and big events. What are the differences between the two? You would have heard me be saying al-fitnatu wal-nawazil, or al-fitanu wal-nawazil. What is the difference between fitna and nazila? What is the difference between the two of them? This Sheikh discussed. He was extensive in this matter. Shaykh Hassan al-Iraq on issues regarding fitna. He titled the book Ru'yatun Shar'iyyatun lil-Fitan wal-Nawazil fi as-Sahat al-Iraqiyya. That's a very, very good book. Also, this is from Shaykh Abul Hussein Ali al-Hazzahi. I do not know the person of the Sheikh, but I have this book with me. He titled it Al-Fitanu, Trials, Suwaruha, how they occur, their form, Wa ilajuha, the solutions to them, Wal wiqayatu minha, and how to get protected from fitan. It's a very good book, inshallah. Very old book too with me. Also, on the issues of handling fitan, one of the scholars discuss some of the tabi'un and how they handle fitan. So here in this work, he was discussing Al-Imam Mutarrif ibn Abdullah al-Shaykh. I'm sure you find it. It's from the scholars. If you read Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, you find his report. Mutarrif. He also had a son, Abdullah ibn Mutarrif. So when he discussed the biography of this Imam, he now discussed his role when there was fitan. What did he do? He mentioned about 7 things that this Imam did during the time of fitan, and then he was supporting them with the verses of the Quran and ahadith from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It's a very, very good book here about fitan, because the Imam is known for his avoidance of fitna. This Imam, Mutarrif ibn Abdullah al-Shaykh, he avoided fitan. So his life is a model about how to relate with the rest of the people and with yourself during the times of fitna. It's a very, very good book too. This is also by one of the early Muslims, Al-Imam Al-Hafiz Ibn Al-Bala. It is called Al-Risalat Al-Mubniyatu fi As-Sukuti wa Luzum Al-Buyut. Al-Risalat Al-Mubniya fi As-Sukuti wa Luzum Al-Buyut. It's a brief discourse about being silent during the times of fitna and staying in your house during the times of fitna. Keep quiet. Stay in your house. And he builds the entirety of this book. This Imam is from the 4th century of Islam. He based this book on the hadith of Abdullah ibn Umar, who went to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and asked him about fitan, and he told him to hold his tongue and stay in his house. The entirety of this book is based on that hadith regarding how we handle fitan. There are others. The one that comes to mind now is the one by one of our teachers, Shaykh Ibrāhīm Abdur-Raūf. He is a member of At-Tibyān. He is also a member of Kibar Ulama in Saudi Arabia. One of the oldest scholars now you have. Very old, very well grounded in the science of hadith and fiqh. Shaykh Ibrāhīm Abdur-Raūf. He has a tahqiq of Fath al-Mubin by Imam al-Sakhawi. You know the Alfiyah of Imam al-Suyuti on Ilm al-Hadith. Alfiyah of Suyuti on Ilm al-Hadith. There is a sharh on it by Imam al-Sakhawi, the student of Al-Hafiz ibn Hajar. Shaykh Abdul-Karim al-Khudair has a tahqiq on that in 5 volumes. Hafizahullah is still alive. He also did a sharh of Alfiyah of Al-Hafiz al-Iraqi. He reads the Alfiyah of Hafiz al-Iraqi like you and I will read Surah Al-Fatiha. And I was fortunate to be in that class. So if I read the book, I always think as if we're in the class. He shared on Alfiyah of Iraqi when I was in Riyadh. Alhamdulillah. So he has a discourse in about 1.5 hours about fitan. He called it Hadi Salaf Fil Fitan. The manner, the way of how the early Muslims conducted themselves during the times of fitan. And that speech has been transcribed. It occurs in about 15 pages. He also discussed what is fitan, who are the Salaf, what does fitna mean, what does as-Salaf, what does it mean. Since he had said Hadi Salaf. He even also discussed Al-Hajj and the difference between Hadi and as-Salaf. He discussed these issues and then he started telling us how the early Muslims handled the period of fitna. It occurs in 15 volumes. It occurs in 15 pages. One of his works is he taught Al-Jami' al-Ahkam al-Quran by Imam al-Qurtubi. It occurs in 20 volumes. He taught it in a single masjid over a period of 15 years. Shaykh Abdul Karim Al-Khudair. Well, very, very vast. And in almost all the time, he has a discourse on Rihlat al-Ulama ila al-Hajj, the journey of scholars to Hajj. Because when the ulama travel, they go for Hajj and come back, they always have so many things to say. So many of them wrote so many things on it. He was just invited, Sheikh, can you tell us some things about the experiences of the past scholars when they come on Hajj? And he started talking for about 1.5 hours. SubhanAllah. If you listen to it, you'll be wondering, someone who was just called, Sheikh, can you please just tell us something? And he was mentioning the A'imma, their journeys and their experiences during Hajj. It's very, very, very vast. Hafizahullah. May Allah preserve him. Very learned too. My mind is so inclined that we should read that book. Because after I have introduced us to all of this, we can ask, so what are you saying now? What I'm saying is that I feel that we should read Shaykh Abdul Karim's work. It's in 15 pages. It's clear, simple, straightforward about how did the early Muslims handle themselves during the times of Fitan. Hadi Salaf fil Fitan. The reason we want to know about it, the Muslim should not be a person who is living in a time handling situations he does not have knowledge about. Some of the groups of Muslims you will find, they say invite people to the path of Allah. What does that mean? If you want to invite people to the path of Allah, except that you invite them to the ahkam of Sharia. If you are not inviting them to ahkam of Sharia, you invite them to the path of Allah so that they too invite to the path of Allah. What is the path of Allah you are inviting to? I come to your house, come out, follow me, let's go and invite people to the path of Allah. Those people come out, they follow me, let's go and invite people to the path of Allah. We become how many? 3 or 5. Okay, the 5 of us, we want to go and invite people to the path of Allah. We become how many? 7, 8, 9. The 10 of us, we want to invite people to the path of Allah. We become how many? 15. There is a question one reasonable person amongst us should ask. What is that part of Allah you are inviting to? This is the way of Jama'at Tabligh and it is bad. So we should base our deen, our religion about knowledge. This is what the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam. Qul, say to the people, Hadihi sabili. This is my way. Ad'u ila Allah. I invite also the path of Allah. Allah mala, Allah basira, based on knowledge. Not just me alone, Ana wa man istaba'ani, myself and those who are with me. This deen is a deen that Allah has placed upon knowledge. How? If I want to pray, I must know the rulings of Salah. If I want to make wudu, I must know the rulings of wudu. If I'm washing my hand from here up to the elbow here, I must know why. If I'm raising it up, I must know why it is coming up. Who said so? Who taught me that I should wash my hand up to my upper arm? Who taught me that? I must know. So my deen will be ala basira, not ala taklif. So if I'm fasting, I'm knowing what are the rulings guiding fasting. If I want to pay zakah, I want to know why am I paying what from zakah. Who will get what from my wealth from zakah? If I'm performing Hajj, I want to know how. Why should I do what during Hajj? So my actions will be based on good knowledge and then anticipation for reward. Don't tell me fadailul a'mal when the amal itself la fadla fihi. You say I should observe 2 minutes of prayer and I don't know how to pray. If I observe 2 minutes of prayer, Allah will give me 50 houses in Al-Jannah. Marhaba. But have I been able to pray correctly? It is after I have been able to pray correctly, you start telling me the promise for praying correctly. It is when I have prayed correctly that I should start looking for the reward for praying 2 minutes of prayer. Now you did not teach the man how to pray correctly, and the correct way to pray is the way the messenger prays, alayhi salatu wasalam. So our religion is based on basira, clear knowledge and insight, not upon emotion. Hey brother, if I come here and start saying, oh brother, 15 people don't know how to, they don't know, they will even tell you Tawheed. Tawheed? The point is that we need to know how to handle ourselves during the times of fitan. And that must be based on knowledge. Knowledge is what is in the Quran and the Sunnah of the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. And I think that we should read the book by Shaykh Ibrāhīm Abdur-Raūf. He actually had discussed it as a lecture, but it has been transcribed. I will get it out and send it to our brothers. They will print copies for us, inshallah, such that when we read it, each of us has a copy with it. We can read all along and follow along. We try to give brief explanations to those readings as we proceed. Maybe we read it over 3, 4, 5 classes, inshallah, and then we find comfort and and insights from it about how to handle it. There is no doubt that sometimes we may have to come to some of these works to shed more light about some of the points that we will mention. It should not just be a read for translation, because if it is that, each of us can do that on our own. But it should be a read, inshallah, that should be followed with some additional benefits, inshallah, from other topics that Allah will guide us onto. Whatever we are able to do, may Allah bless it for us. May Allah guide us to that which is best for us. If there are one or two questions, we'll answer it. Otherwise, we'll call it a day today so that we rush back home. If there are one or two questions. Alaykum salam. Who? Did we hear his question? Are there reports, are there ahadith or asar that show that when we say rahimahullah, we should only be saying it to someone who has passed away? Or when we say hafizahullah, we should only be saying it to someone who is still alive? One of those who have done a very good work on these kinds of statements, including radiyallahu anhu at-Tabari, is Al-Imam Al-Nawawi in his book Kitab Al-Adkar. I encourage us to go and read it. Very important. Kitab Al-Adkar by Imam Al-Nawawi. He discussed these kinds of issues. Why is it that we say alayhi salam to some amongst the messengers, and then our own messenger will say alayhi salatu wa salam? If we say alayhi salatu wa salam to others amongst the messengers, is it wrong? Why do some people say karramallahu wajhahu when they mention Ali ibn Abi Talib? Is it right? Is it wrong? Can we say radiyallahu anhu to someone who is not a companion? Can we say that? These kinds of expressions. And Imam al-Nawawi discussed it in Kitab al-Adkar. But more to your question is that jara alayhi amalu salaf salih. Because the meaning of your question is that what is the proof to say rahimahullah to someone who has passed away and hafizahullah to someone who is still alive? I say the evidence is jaryan amalu salaf salih. We find our early Muslims doing that, and we have been asked to follow them, so we are following them. What is the evidence? Now, that is the way the early Muslims do it and say it. So we say as they say. That is the proof for it. The proof of saying rahimahullah if a person has passed away is that the early Muslims used to do so. When they mention the A'immah, say rahimahullah. If you go and start looking amongst the companions, you find that when the elder ones amongst the companions passed away and the younger ones wanted to mention, then they say rahimahullah. This one, I'm sure if a Talib al-Ilm goes into Bahat from the books of Hadith, he can come out with a Jew. I tell you this. Where the younger companions will be mentioning regarding the earlier, older companions, and they'll be saying, rahimahullah, because amongst the companions, Adawa or Mekewa, there are elders and younger ones. Anas bin Malik used to say that. So the elder ones amongst the companions, the elder ones amongst the companions. The elder ones amongst the companions. Anas said the elder ones amongst the companions, radiyallahu anhum, they are the ones who can tell you about the face of the companion of the Prophet Muhammad. As for us, we are too shy. We are too humble before him to be able to look at the Prophet in the face. So that when he dies, he can now start telling you about him. We are not bold enough to come and start looking at his face. Anas said to Rahim, radiyallahu anhu. So amongst the companions, there is àwọn àgbà sàábé wà, àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké sàábé, there are darajat. Yes, there are darajat. وَرَفَعْنَا بَعْضَكُمْ فَوْقَ بَعْضٍ darajat. This is the sunnah of Allah. Even amongst Anbiya and Rusul, there is darajat. There is darajat. And their head is Abu Bakr al-Siddiq, radiyallahu anhu, atiqullah. Is the head of all the companions. Nobody comes in front of him. And then Umar radiallahu anhu. And you know what? The way Umar radiallahu anhu will respect Abu Bakr al-Siddiq, even the far lower companions will not have as much respect to Abu Bakr as much as Umar has. Radiallahu Umar, he respects Abu Bakr al-Siddiq. Go and read the Fiqh of Hudaybiyah. Umar respects Abu Bakr al-Siddiq. Subhanallah. Was he not the one who pushed him forward on the day Abu Bakr al-Siddiq emerged as the Khalifa after the Prophet sallallahu? And he said, anybody who wants to come in front of Abu Bakr, let him come, let me see. Let's see, shoot him. I suggest Umar, I suggest Abu Bakr as the Khalifa. Who wants to come and challenge us? Abu Bakr. So I'm saying that if we go back to the books of Hadith and Athar, we can come out with a Jew when younger companions will be saying Rahimahullah regarding the older companions. Did you get that answer? Alhamdulillah. Inshallah, to be the last question, please. Bismillah. Amin one. You need a clarification on a hadith of the Prophet. I pray that I should know it too. أيوة وهزل فيها جد ثلاث three things. جد فيها جد وهزل فيها جد فيها yeah. Whether you are serious about them, it is serious. Whether you are joking about them, it is serious. Jiddun fiha jiddun. A seriousness regarding these issues is seriousness. Wahazlun fiha jiddun. I am joking about them, it is counted as seriousness. It counted 4 things in some reports. This hadith is khilaf amongst the scholars whether the hadith is even authentic. You find some of the people like I don't like referring to him, but I will. Amr Abdul Munim Salim, he breaks this hadith even munkar. But the correct thing, inshallah, is that this hadith is al-aqal hasan. You read the fuller details of its discourse on in Irwa al-Ghalil by Imam al-Albani rahimahullah. And many others before him had authenticated this hadith. So the correct thing is that the hadith is authentic. That these 3 things, when you are joking, it is serious. And when you are serious, it is what? Serious. The first one is what? As-salah. Sorry, ask your question. It's regarding nikah. Because I started with what? Salah. So I started with nikah now. Count it as number 2. The third one is al-ishq. Being a slave. If you have a slave, you say you are joking. You are free. You say no, you are not free. What is the ruling? He is free. And then this is your Yoruba joke. You say my daughter, I will marry my daughter to you. Don't want to practice your wife. She's his wife. If you come the next morning, I said, bring my wife to me. He said, who is your wife? I said, no, you married her to me. He said, I was joking. He needs to read this hadith. Don't joke that you are marrying your daughter to somebody with anybody. Do you understand what I'm saying? Somebody is joking, say, he has one, not me, he has one daughter. Say, he gives his daughter to so-and-so. I know you, so-and-so, I marry her to you. And he said, joke. Brothers joke this joke. Don't joke it again. You can see it from the joke you can count as what? Expensive. Because in the Sharia it means that girl has become his wife. Especially if you are the father of the girl. Kala, you are giving him figure to laugh. The next thing is I start asking you how much mahar do you want to accept? You say mahar, say yes. May Allah protect us. That is the first thing, nikah. Likewise, divorce. Don't joke divorce with your wife. I divorced you. I was just joking. It is counted as one divorce. Don't get divorced with your wife. So these are the three things. Seeing a slave, marrying a woman, somebody, and then what? And then divorcing a wife. May Allah protect them. And now, alayhi salatu wa salam. The third prophet said, alayhi salatu wa salam, don't be a stingy man. Alayhi salatu. Now, it does not contradict it. Okay. Okay. We'll say it now. Jazakallah khair. You know the question is asking? That hadith, if a man jokingly says to another man that he marries his daughter to another man, and then he takes it like that, that is still to ask the code. Okay. How about the girl's permission? Huh? So he's asking, how do we not now need the girl's permission? It is the job of the wali now to go and get that girl's permission. If the girl is still a little young girl that does not have quwwat al-tamyiz, she does not have the ability to say, I will marry. She doesn't even know the meaning of marriage. That girl will be his wife until the girl will be able to become mature to say, I concur with my father or I don't. If she concurs, she becomes his wife. If she rejects, then the marriage will be dissolved. Likewise, if it's a girl that is matured, she is able to say, I will or I will not. She can concur with her father, especially if this happens a lot in the north. Many times young girls just leave their father to choose a husband for them. This used to be the case in the Ummah. When children knew their father are people who will not give them to a man that is not responsible. So once their father says, this is the person you want, inshallah, I agree. Go to the books of Tariq and Sirah, you see it is very, very common. So if the girl is someone who is matured and trusts the father's actions, she will just accept. In fact, she will be asking the father the date for the consummation alone. But if she's someone who thinks that there is something under her or she doesn't just want to be a man, then she can say she does not want to be a man. And that will invalidate that figure to that. Do you understand? Do they contradict? Assalamu alaikum. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka.